Happy New Year!
Perfect timing, Juju. Welcome back. Happy New Year, 3 Point Stance subscribers, followers, and newcomers to the show. Welcome to 3 Point Stance podcast, where we don't claim to be experts. We just give our takes. Take it or leave it. We'll be fine either way. Happy New Year to everybody again. Happy New Year, fellas. What's good, Ju? What's good, Vic? How y'all doing? How has y'all been? Has your year been so far?
For me, it ain't been nothing different. It feels just like 2023. Going to work, coming home from work, cooking, cleaning, and getting ready to go back to work the next day. So, but in the sense that it is a new year, I'm hoping to get myself to, get something going. Make this year a little bit different than last year.
Yeah, see me, I've been fairly entertained so far this year. I have been entertained. If you are on your phone at any point of the day, you are not going to go in it and not cross something funny. I done seen Jada Pickett look like Pitbull. Like I do not know why she is out here looking like Pitbull, but hey, it works for her. I like her look. I think somebody needs to support her.
I thought it was a slim down Fat Joe. He be wearing them bubble coats.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah, I feel you. I thought it was...
And she really thought she was fitted too. That was my thing.
The pose. Like, that's what in my mind.
Leg out.
I'm telling you, in my mind, I said, Mr. Worldwide.
305. 305.
She was about to hit that dance. You know that dance he always do when he.
I ain't gonna lie. I have been on a lot of social media because I ain't been working. Because it's been hard for me to really work. So it's just been me scrolling through all social media. YouTube. I said earlier, I said I feel bad. My job didn't pay me at least 2 days for not working.
You got holiday brain.
But it was cool because I'm like, there wasn't a lot going on. A lot of people was having off work, so I could, I had 2-day cushion. Today I worked, so I gave them that.
Yeah. Gave them all.
Yeah, listen,
made up for it.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
So that sounds good. So let's transition into your New Year's resolutions. I myself have personally not thought of it too much because I got the holiday brain myself, and I didn't think of shit beforehand. So yeah. I was going through the holidays just trying to get these kids gifts and work and make money for the first and pay all the bills that come from the 1st through the 7th. So I'll start with Juju so I can get a little thought. You got any New Year's resolutions?
I'm with you. I'm trying to get. I do get one. And it's basic. I feel like everybody be like, oh, I'm trying to get in the gym. But I'm like, me getting in the gym, I've always been an athlete, but it's different now that I just recently, graduated from college. I'm doing, feeling the adult life. After you go to work for 8 hours, commute,
nothing else.
Well, I go to the gym. So that means I either got to wake up earlier or my day go later. I'm gonna talk to that gym another day. We're gonna see if our time line up another time because it ain't today. So this year, hopefully, I make it to the gym. I'm actually supposed to be doing on TikTok. They got the 75 hard where you go to the gym twice a day for 75 days. So I say I might be able to do that. I go in the morning. I maybe do lower body cardio, legs, and then I go on my lunch break. I do an hour just straight upper body. So I say if I split it up like that, I think I might get through it.
See, I'm the complete opposite. I've thought about my New Year's resolution, and I've decided my New Year's resolution is nothing. Not a damn thing. A lot of people go in New Year and they be like, "New Year, new me." No, same me. Still nigga. I'm the same guy. When I come into 24, when I go into 25, you know what I'm gonna be? Still a nigga. I ain't gonna change.
Same old.
So is that just same you personality, but like no different aspirations, no different
not
goals?
Really. I guess my goals are always the same for the most part. What I realized,
okay. And
I used to do stuff like how you're doing right now. And I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was a little younger, I was exactly like you. I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna be healthier. I didn't do a couple different lists on my thing, but I realized that every time I did that,
you never did them.
I never did them. So it's like, I just come to the realization that, hey, maybe you are not working out lazy motherfucker. It's okay.
I still got that competitive.
No,
edge in me
yeah,
right now.
You know,
I'm recently, I'm still young. I'm recently out of sports.
and you're an athlete.
Yeah, I'm an athlete. So like for me, it's like, I gotta challenge myself for something. So I feel like that's why
I used to feel the exact same way, and I used to
fall
be
out
like,
of it.
and you know what I realized? I think I played semi-pro, and maybe that's what happened. I played semi-pro, and I was like, yo, I'm in good shape still. I'm young, and then I realized I was like, no, I don't like this shit no more.
See, I had the opposite effect. I was like, I'm done with college. I'm done with football. I'm about to go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm starting to, it's been to the point I
get
tore a few work pants.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we got a problem.
I think that was another thing too, is because maybe because I get hurt too much. I'm real clumsy, so I get hurt a lot. So I think that's maybe why I dove away from it, because it's like, you're just gonna end up on the injury reserve list. There ain't no injury reserve list. You still got to go to work with your
True.
with your leg broke or something like that.
Them sick days early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of in the middle of both of you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not changing my personality. I'm not changing who I am, but I am a grinder. I'm a constant worker. So I think building us up and appreciating that we're launching, and I got my nephews with me that have contributed heavily to this this brand and took so much off of my shoulders. And actually, I barely have to do anything anymore because they always got suggestions and always putting in. So we just gonna together as a New Year's resolution take this product to the next step and try to get these media credentials and try to boom and give y'all the best show that y'all can have. But I also got to take care of my stomach, because I'm 41. I'll be 42 this year. So I'm going to be in the gym, hopefully with nephew, if he has me.
Next time y'all see us, you're going to see veins. What? This sweater going to be tight on me next time.
See, that turns into a different thing for me. That's also another thing. Maybe because I don't like people enough. Because the beginning of the year is the worst place. It's like the gym is the worst place on earth to go to at the beginning of the year. Because everybody had a New Year's resolution that I'm going to get.
I used to work at Planet Fitness. Give it to the 17th.
Yeah.
17th, half of them people home.
No, that's what I was going to say. It's like, yo, after that point, then I would consider.
By the time you get past Valentine's Day, it's empty.
Oh,
you good. That's perfect time. And they come around, you and that cricket.
It's 9:00 right now. I guarantee you, Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, every single one. You probably can't even get on no treadmill.
No.
They got a wait list.
That's why I ain't been yet. I'm waiting for them to leave.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, I saw a post today. A dude said he went to the gym. He went up to the dude and said, yo, how many sets you got left? He said, the dude said 10. He said, the new generation don't work out. What are you working out for? I said, the same thing. 10 sets. What are you drinking?
Yeah, I got weights here. We got little free weights here and there. So I'm going to just be picking up full grocery bags and doing stuff I'm not paying for no gym membership this year. I'll do it in the house. I got 3 flights of stairs. I got this little fake ass Marcy stationary
prison workout.
I'm a prison workout, right? I'm gonna
be curling the dog. I know. Dog gonna be barking. So, shut up.
Right.
Got your alderman picking it up. Your alderman just doing squats with your alderman.
You gonna be walking around.
Feet on it.
You gonna be walking around with the TV.
Yeah.
They gonna be, what you doing? I don't know. It's show to work out.
You feel me? I can't let Juju leave me behind because he in the gym.
Nah,
so it's gotta go down at the house.
Yeah, both of you niggas have left me. I am not going. I don't think I'm gonna go. I'm all right.
we gonna carry you, I guess. So moving on to the next icebreaker, we're gonna talk about 2023's our favorite artists, album of the year, artist of the year, individually. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree or whatever, because we all have different music styles. And looking into the camera, all of you have music styles and preferences different from ours. So you can tell us about it. You can knock us if you're not feeling them. Just don't take it personal or throw the personal shots, because we might have Vic might like Taylor Swift. We don't know. That might have been his jam this year.
Might be. Might never know. I'm unpredictable.
Apparently, after your New Year's resolution, we got that.
Unpredictable.
So I'm gonna hand this one to Vic, since I let Juju start that one off. Give us your favorite album and or artist of the year.
So I'm kind of cheating because it's technically what didn't qualify as an actual album, but we listen to it all in the same places, so it's an album to me. But my choice is "Larger Than Life" by Brent Fayez. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
Yeah.
that album is good to me. 23 was kind of lackluster for me. I liked some songs, but I couldn't necessarily narrow down an album that I could keep on listening to besides that. And I like Brent. I thought Wasteland was really good, and he just kind of I don't know if this is a step up, but it still got some solid songs on it. So that's probably my go-to album. But artists, I'm kind of stuck on because I know he didn't release an album, but I'm leaning towards J. Cole.
Okay.
J. Cole has had some of
features.
he has some of the
Yeah.
fire features.
Features.
Not to mention that I think my song of the year is gonna be First Person Shooter.
Oh yeah.
Like
They snapped on that.
Kills. Absolutely kills. I love that.
Yeah. But that's why it's perfect to lead into who I think, and it may be a little biased or a little basic, call it what you want, Drake. I mean, not only do I think he had the album of the year, I think he was the artist of the year. The dude dropped like 2 tapes in 1 year and then dropped like the Scary Hours. It was like he just went crazy in 1 year in like a short span, which is very uncommon from a lot of them top artists, rappers, the J. Cole's, the Kendricks. They usually take in a couple years to make, and it's a polished, perfect product. But like for a pristine artist like Drake to release like that, the first off the For Your Loss that he did with 21, that was like a gem banger for me. You could play that whole album start to finish, and like it's from like club hits. You got a little mix of everything. And to me, I'm one of them 21 Savage fans.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Especially on the feature. 21 on the feature. He probably like one of my favorite feature artists. Him and Future. Top 2. And Thug. I got to put Thug up there.
Yeah.
So I definitely say Drake for both. And it's biased because I'm a Drake fan. And I say it. I'm open to I take the criticism. But I just think the numbers prove it. What he's done is prove it. So I'm going to just leave it at that. But the For Your Loss and For All the Dogs that he did right before the end of the year, I definitely think both of them albums for me got like bangers on them.
Real quick, you want to know a song that I'm mad that I like? It's like a guilty pleasure.
What?
The Rich Baby Daddy.
That's my shit.
That shit.
That is my shit.
So listen, it's such a funny song, but it's like, yo, this actually hit.
You gotta move. Like you gotta move. And like I be saying, like people get mad at me because I play Drake. I'm a Drake fan, and it be songs like that when they first hear it, they be like, man, that shit. That's dumb. Turn it off. I don't care. I'm gonna keep playing it. Give it 2 weeks. I promise you. They be next time they see me, they be play that song, right? You know what it is. Like you gotta move.
Yeah.
I like both of those albums. I like those choices, and I'll probably go a little bit off the grid, even though this might be recency bias. Killer Mike just came out with his album a few months back. But y'all grew up under me, not like I raised you all, but I'm just saying y'all grew up under hearing my music through the next room or riding around with me. We was just talking about the car accident. Y'all used to hear
Traumatized.
All type of that chick just hit us in red. What just happened? But we'll tell y'all that story at another time.
Yeah.
But I've always been a down south music banger, the 808s, the bass, everything, and especially when it comes to like ATL artists that are lyrical, and a lot of people be like, they lyrical schmirical. Nah, them boys cut like Goody Mob, Cujo Goody. Yeah. Like I've been early 90s with my South stuff. So that kind of ages me, but it is what it is. But Killer Mike's album to me, from front to back, I never skipped it. And it came out in a space when Gucci Man came out 2 or 3 weeks before or a month before. Then immediately after Jeezy. And y'all know those are my 3, well, at least my 2, because Killer Mike be, not that he's off and on, but they don't play him so commercially. Now with Spotify making it boom, they released it. Boom, they released it. I can access it quicker than I could back then. So a lot of Killer Mike stuff I had to eventually find years later as after. But this one, boom, hit me in the face. So I reviewed it and I put it on Facebook and Twitter, just like I did Gucci and Jeezy's around that time. And he blew them out the water to me. I'm talking about lyrical content, track selection, features. He had, Down by Law. The first one kicked off with CeeLo Green. You brought CeeLo Green, and he killed that chorus. Shed Tears had me tearing up, literally, like, because I was listening to it in the car. So like the whole album, I'm working and doing deliveries, and I'm hearing everything like that. Like it brought me back to church a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hearing y'all your mama, but Auntie Tyra and the choir and all that stuff like that. And I put that on repeat like 5 times the first listen. Then you got Scientists and Engineers by Killer Mike and Andre 3000.
That was a decent.
That was a good song.
Yeah.
The 2 Days with Ty Dolla $ign. I could go. The list can go.
I think arguably it's probably the best album in his career.
Yeah,
so far.
I thought it was creative. I felt like it was a nice mix.
Yeah,
and I didn't
because he always could rap. There was never a problem with his rapping ability. He always could rap. I think that, and this is just a problem that artists have in general, is that sometimes they get so core and rooted in what they're doing that it's hard to make it commercial for everybody to make it relatable. And he did a good job with selecting beats.
Yeah,
like he did a really good job on selecting features. Like that feature list is just like, hey, everybody can't get that feature list.
Made you want to come listen to it. Because that's what I was just saying. I'm like, I really didn't know who he was before that. When I saw that Scientists and Engineers, I'm like, I know Andre 3000.
Yeah,
I think Future was in there. Like I know Future. Yeah. Like I could go listen to that.
Funny part that he's part of the Dungeon. like how is he a part of them? He's so young, but I get it though.
And the funny thing is, the Andre 3000 from that song, we thought we was gonna get on the flute.
Yeah. But
we just says worst albums of the year.
Funny,
Andre.
No, we're not gonna do that. Andre 3000's album is good.
Juju started off like Cat Williams.
Yeah, just threw him under there. Just threw him underneath that on the bus like that.
Hey, you're out of here. Get him out of here. Yeah. I'm sorry. That was not what I was. Listen, and maybe since I'm younger, but Andre, you fumbled the bag.
No. The thing is, the part that kills me about this and people's reaction is that he had been advertising this album for years. Yeah, he's been walking around. People have been finding him all different places around the world, not just like all around Atlanta. They've been finding him right.
I didn't think he was going to get behind the mic, and
he had been going. Why you didn't expect that? He was at the airport with it.
Because I didn't see you everywhere.
He was on the Great Wall of China with it.
Wait, Juju, do that again.
Listen, I didn't see you tweet that damn horn all year around the map. You went to every country whistling this flute. Do something different, please.
I knew it was coming. I knew because, like I said, it had been a running joke on the internet for years that he was just in random places, like at a Starbucks in fucking Massachusetts, on the Great Wall of China, at the Eiffel Tower. He was just at random places, posted with the flute, playing it, and then people would come up with him with a camera. He would just do this little, and then get the walk in.
If that wasn't Outkast, they would think that person had a problem. I promise.
No, definitely. If he didn't have money,
Outkast, they would have thought he had a problem.
If he didn't have money, but
that's true. Good point.
But the thing is, he always been like this. He always been like the Love Below. People listen to Love Below the first time. They didn't say like, "Oh, this is the greatest album of all time." Now people was looking like, "Why are you doing that weird shit, nigga?"
Hey. He is a goat. That wasn't goated.
Man, that flute. If you listen to that flute album, you ever been to a spa?
Nope.
You never been to a spa?
Nope.
All right, go to like a massage therapist or a spa, something like that.
Like his music.
Hey,
you asked for too much.
You gonna be real relaxed when you listen to Andre on that flute.
I already got to pay Spotify. Now I got to pay the spa.
Vic said put that under ASMR.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like, yo, it's very soothing music, but you could tell that he didn't took some like, well, I don't know how to pronounce that name, but ashwasha or something like that. It's like a drug.
Ashwagandha.
It's something like that. But hey, so
I'm not a druggist.
Yo, yeah, he took that. You could tell that he having an experience, and that experience is lasting a really long time. So he ain't let it go yet. So
yeah, whatever that stuff that Aaron Rodgers was. I think ashwagandha is the vitamin.
It's something. I don't know. Neil Brennan is the one how I discovered it. He was like he took it and he discovered like God. He was like an atheist and he discovered God with.
I don't like none that make me think about something that I don't want to think about. We gonna stick to this.
Let's move on to the next subject before we get banned for talking about illegal drugs that they allow Aaron Rodgers to take freely.
There's weed videos. There's weed videos.
Our last icebreaker. This is what my nephews was talking about when they were saying you couldn't put your phone down for 5 minutes coming out of January 1st because the hits was coming. And the most recent hit outside of the Epstein list, which we won't talk about today, it's just crazy anyway.
Despicable. Agenda.
But Katt Williams absolutely came out swinging on celebrities on Uncle Shay show, which we all love. We all want to be like one day where we can have a show like that where we got celebrities to come on. But Shay was like, bro, am I ever going to have any more guests after this guy came on? So I asked y'all, what was y'all reaction to, I mean, I feel like the first 3 minutes he came in on Smiley and it just went up. So what were some of y'all favorite parts, I guess? I don't even know how to describe it.
Man, so crazy thing is, this was one of them videos, and I watched the whole thing. And listen, crazy thing was, I saw it the night before that it was coming on the next day, and I said, at work, I know what I'm doing because I know I'm not working. It's kind of fucked up, but it was perfect. I mean, I watched the whole thing, and not even my response and my reaction to watching the video when I watched it. It was what transponded after watching that video, man, like to the proof evidence that started to just come to surface after that video was like, because like without that, if you watch that video, I felt in like a lot of people were or maybe are still trying to play it, like you would make it seem like, oh, he angry, he's taking us, he feel personal about it, which I feel I did get that sense from him. But then when all this stuff started coming out, it's like, okay, I see why he taking it personal. And I understand. Do I feel like some people are maybe taking Katt Williams and his presentation of it maybe a little too harsh? I don't think he was rude about it in any way. I just think it was a blunt. I mean, it's like the elephant.
Direct.
Yeah, it's very direct. You don't want to talk about it. You want these celebrities to have these good, images and to everybody to get along with each other. But I think he just had a belief and he had an opinion and he was like, no, this is who I am. And I was disincluded from that. And this is why I was disincluded from that. Not in the sense to say these people are, I don't think he was trying to say these people are less than me, but he was like, these people haven't amounted to what I have amounted to with these, I'm not even with these standards, but stayed to their own word. Like they were showing all the clips of all these comedians and they wouldn't wear a dress. And they did. And it's like, who cares if you wear a dress? If you want to wear a dress. But don't say that, oh, I'm not going to do this and this is who I am. And then you go do it. Or, in the sense that they say they didn't steal jokes. And nah, bro, I done seen about 2-3 videos of somebody stealing the joke. And okay, now I just feel like, all right, I see what he's saying. I see why he's saying it.
Yeah.
And it now makes me feel differently about those Steve Harveys and not Katt Williams, Kevin Hart's. And man, he went in on Cedric the Entertainer. Yeah. He had me rolling.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback before I forget, because I'm getting old, and then I'll pass it off to you, Vic. Just to piggyback off of what you're saying, where people afterwards, like comedians like Faison Love and different ones, and even I watched Ricky Smiley's
his radio,
and I respected his I wouldn't call it a clapback or a comeback. It was very respectful. Like that's how Smiley is. He gonna give you the respectful response. He's deeply rooted in God and Christianity, so he's not gonna go off crazy. He can because he's a comedian, like he said. But like listening to him when he brought that guy on, it kind of gave me vibes of Eazy-E and Jerry Heller. You know what I'm saying? Like if you remember Straight Outta Compton, anytime they came at Easy, like, hey dog, what happened with our contract? Hey, what happened with this? He would like talk to Heller, and Heller would talk like, oh no, it's all good, it's all that. And that's kind of, I got those vibes, and they was like trying to explain it, and it was almost like that's what he's talking about. Like Faison was like, well, where your movies at and stuff like that. And he was like, Katt Williams was saying, I won't do the things that you all do to get these movies. So it's like you can't come back from somebody when they saying, I didn't do what you did to get there. That's the point of me not having the movies. And so it's like you lose that to me, because I see what he's saying, because a lot of you all made it. I wouldn't say because of the dress. And I was talking to TJ, my wife, and I was saying, it does seem like after everybody wore a dress or did something embarrassing or out of the norm, they blew up. And it almost reminds me of football hazing. Like you all play football, and you know, if it's a freshman or if it's a sophomore or something like that, you a senior, carry my bags, do this, sing a song in front of the camp, sing a Taylor Swift song, do it now. And then that's how they earn their respect or whatever through the year. And so I kind of see it as similar in Hollywood, whereas what you gonna do for this money? And I'm not even talking about the sexual side of stuff, but like, wear this dress, look a fool. How stupid are you gonna make yourself
look? And that's what my focal point is, where I say I feel like people just thought he was aggressive, because I'm like, if you listen to what he's saying he wasn't going to do what them other people did, and since he didn't do that, he was disincluded. That's society, that's life. If sports, if I play football and you don't play football, I'm probably not going to hang out with you. You're probably not going to do the things that I do with my friends that play football. If we go to this party, you're probably not going to go to that party with us, because these are my guys that I hang with. We all do the same thing. And especially when it comes to the men dressing as women in movies, I feel like Katt Williams was like, he doesn't want to do that because that's shaming. He's like, I can be funny without dressing as a woman. And I feel like in a lot of situations where they do like, reaching out, helping somebody out, looking to make a film that's funny, the funniest thing, and Katt Williams said that the funniest thing in America is a black man dressed in a wig as a woman, and that's the easiest way to sell, and that's what all those comedians do. And he's like, I don't do that, so I don't fit in with them, and since I don't fit in with them, I don't get those outlets and those handouts and to be in movies that they get, because they willing to dress as a woman. And when I come in and I feel like y'all saying some off shit, I'm not going with it. So nobody gonna give me shit, because they know if I give him some off shit, he's not gonna do it.
And they want everybody to roll with it. And that's the funny thing. And I'm gonna pass to Vic. I'm gonna be quick with this, but that adds to the Heller thing, the Jerry Heller comment, because during Ricky Smiley's thing, the guy, Ricky Smiley, before he brought him on, he said, you know, all the legends have done it, you know, and he started going off with names of different people that did it. And I guess I forgot who his assistant is or whoever's on the show with Ricky Smiley. They were talking about all the legends that have done it before. And to me, that's almost co-signing the theory that you have to do it to make it. And so they try to kind of make it seem like, oh, it's legendary, it's a bit, it's fun, it's funny, it's and the guy came on and he was like, yeah, the great, and it's almost like this is a white man, and I don't want to make this a race issue, but this is a white man, which Katt was talking about, that they respect in the industry because he's a manager. He can put you on, he can talk, he can meet with this person and get you that role. And they're saying, he's saying, oh yeah, this bit is great. Just like Katt said, the guy brought the script in. This is funny. This is funny. What do you mean? What do it? And he kept trying to press him. And they was like, no, Dave Chappelle did the same thing. He said they brought him the dress bit and he was like, no, I'm not doing it. And then 5 minutes later, they came back with a whole new script, but they claimed that it was another one. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I agree with Jew. So let me pass it to Vic, because I get long-winded. Go ahead.
I directed my attention completely different to where y'all directed y'all attention. First, my attention goes to the fact that he was refuting things that had been said specifically on Shannon Sharp's show. Ricky Smiley said, I originally had the role, even in his rebuttal when he came back, he said, I originally had the role for Money Mike.
Mm.
Ice Cube has come out and said, Ricky Smiley did not originally have the role of Money Mike. He auditioned for Money Mike.
Bomb sound inserted here.
Katt Williams said.
I didn't know that.
Katt Williams specifically said.
It came out today.
Yeah, Katt Williams specifically said, "Hey, over 200 comedians auditioned for the Money Mike role." He said, "I was picked in that process." Ricky Smiley also auditioned. He liked Ice Cube liked Ricky Smiley and Katt Williams. But he knew specifically what he wanted them to do after they had been brought on. Rick Smiley still saying, I had the role for Money Mike. Even after Ice Cube was like, no. Now, Ice Cube didn't agree with everything Katt Williams said, but he did say, but that's not the only thing. He also said with Cedric the Entertainer on the show, made mention, like, it's not like he just coming out the blue, and that's what everybody is saying, that he coming out the blue saying what. And he was like, no, all this stuff does. Now, some stuff is, I think he does mix with comedy and is making it a joke, like the Ludacris situation. I think he's honestly making a joke.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not arguing that. I think that somebody came to him and said, "Hey, we got this contract for a long movie series." And they probably came to him. Now, I don't think they came to him exactly like they came to Ludacris, because Ludacris did too. I don't think after they did too, they had a 10 movie deal in line. Yeah, I don't think they had a 10 movie deal in line. But it probably was a similar deal that they was trying to give to Katt Williams that he declined. All because he wanted. I understand for Katt Williams' sake, because that's the change of your brand. You cut your hair and shave your beard. That's his brand. The way he looks is why it makes, how his comedy works. So in reality, he's just refuting everything that's happening in that specific thing. And if you go back and watch all of the interviews that Shannon Sharp does with comedians, they all are talking about things that Katt Williams just so happens to be involved in. Yeah. It's like, man, but you know what makes it even weirder is that they all are Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley. Like that's technically is a boys club. Like they are very I guess you can throw in DL Hughley as well. But if you notice about all of them have either syndicated shows or radio shows. All of them have, so in Katt Williams' eyes, he's looking at it as, I think people are making it larger than what it actually is. People are making it seem like everything he's talking about is large conspiracy. But if you watch Ricky Smiley's show, he said that he opened up for Steve Harvey. Yeah. He wore his regular clothes. And they said to him, we got an idea, or we want to put somebody on a syndicated radio show. But if you open up for me, you got to wear a suit. And he had to wear this, he was like, he didn't wear suits before, but it forced him to. Steve Harvey basically told him, like, you either going to do this job or I'm never going to throw you a bone ever again. And Ricky Smiley just decided, like, I'm just going to do it because this is an opportunity. And then it turned into what it did. And it technically rivaled Steve Harvey's morning show, because they both were syndicated and both doing literally the same thing. Really? So if you're a Kevin Hart, you could look at it and be like, y'all playing some weird games over there. And just because I won't get down with what y'all getting down with, or I won't speak nicely of y'all every time y'all are brought up. And that's what he's saying. He like, man, Cedric then stole my jokes before, which is common in comedy, which is also something that Cedric the Entertainer said in his interview. It's like, that's common in comedy. You can't really help it. That sounds like somebody that might steal a joke or two.
Yeah.
You know?
But if you steal a joke, just admit that you stole a joke.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's people.
We're far past.
Hey,
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Specific on the era, it's like you don't want to necessarily say that because I think that's part of what make comedians them is because they're not stealing jokes, especially for somebody as big in stature as a Cedric the Entertainer. It's like Cedric the Entertainer ain't no like small time, don't really do stand up comedy. No, that was the beginning of his career. So if you stealing jokes, and the part that really threw me off was the fact that I don't know if y'all seen this already, but Steve Harvey on Club Shannon's thing said he stopped doing stand-up comedy because he had so many jobs. He had too many shows. But one of his last shows was, coincidentally, the last show he does with a battle, basically, with Katt Williams, where Katt Williams says,
I saw that.
"You are wearing a wig." And this was when he was still wearing the hairpiece.
now he bald as a
Now now he's bald.
See, he took that wig off.
And he took it off. But you know what's funny? He stopped doing stand-up comedy when he went bald. He was done. He started doing the shows. And he didn't have all the shows yet. But I mean, I'm sure he was in line to. Like, he got 7 today. He didn't have 7 then. But Katt Williams just refuting it. I don't think everything he said is completely accurate or true. But he is making connections on a few things that make you want to second guess. You know, it throws in that reasonable doubt in there, and it's like, man, these niggas starting to look guilty.
Yeah, when they pulled up the forgot the 80s show, I'm older.
Oh,
so
yeah, the one
when they pulled out that Bominicious episode with from that one show.
That had
and
me.
then
Because I was laughing at Bominicious.
Yeah, it was one of his best jokes. Yeah. It's one of his best jokes. It's like,
and
there's a those two, and that's what makes it worse. Now, don't get me wrong. Before this conversation, I wasn't necessarily considering Cedric the Entertainer one of the greatest stand-up comics in the world anyway. Like, to me, the conversation was always he on the low bar when it came to kings of comedy. You technically, like, it was always, to me, in my eyes, it was always DL, Steve, not DL, Bernie, Steve, DL, Cedric. I always liked Cedric when he acted because I thought he was a great actor, which he proves. Because I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Barbershop was, that's genius work right there. I don't even consider that a great movie, but I like Cedric in it.
His role in there kind of reminded me of the barbers of Coming to America. Like, he perfectly fit that in there.
Yeah.
So,
and we've probably all been to a barbershop where it had an old nigga as a barber, and it's like, who's coming to you still?
Right.
And he just there really talking more than he doing anything else. Like, that was just, to me, that made sense.
Absolutely. So just to come off of it real quick and transition into actual sports. That was wild. It's still more stuff coming out in regards to the Katt Williams episodes. People trying to catch these comedians that's trying to clap back, and they like, it's not clicking up. It's not lining up. Like he said, Cedric the Entertainer said about his joke. It's not lining up. They finding the facts. I would have just left them alone. I wouldn't have clapped back. I wouldn't have responded. It's in NBA news. We're gonna kick that off. We're gonna kick it off with the Chicago Bulls news. It's really all we got in the NBA sector right now. Zach LaVine returns to play tonight. And the big question right now, we talked about it a little bit in the first episode, where they were playing very well. They seemed like they were a team rather than just waiting on the individual to save them. And now that he returns, we're almost halfway through the season, and we're looking at the play-in basically. Like, we're around that 10th spot where a good run will put us 10th, 9th, 8th, or whatever. So my question to you fellas are, and I'm gonna start with Vic because I know he's got a conviction. This guy over here has got a conviction, so we're gonna save him. Do you feel like they should keep Zach LaVine and push to make the playoffs to see what this team could be and move forward after this offseason with him staying on the roster, obviously? Or should they just give up? We've seen enough. You're too injury prone. And even when you're there, the team doesn't seem like a team. And just trade them and try to get the assets.
I don't think you should trade him. Because what you going to get him for? Nothing. You're not going to get nothing good back in return.
Off the roster.
Huh?
Off the roster.
Oh, yeah, I understand. But to me, I think it could conveniently, I think it could look like Zach LaVine is the problem because the Bulls have been playing considerably better when he was gone. But people have to understand that they're playing significantly different as well. And I don't think that is a Zach problem. I think that's a Billy Donovan problem. One thing that's very common with the Bulls pre-Zach getting hurt is the ball being stagnant and slow. Zach LaVine and DeMar takes a good chunk of the shot clock when they decide they want to get their shot, which lets everybody sit there and stare. And I'm sorry, but they're not that good. And Billy Donovan's record shows that when he has those two-player systems, he likes to just let them work. Paul George had one of his best careers in OKC under Billy Donovan, and he treated it very similar to DeMar DeRozan doing it right now. They just gave him the ball. Now, don't get me wrong. It was times where Russ would do his thing and then he'll get his assist with Paul George. But in reality, wasn't nobody else really scoring on that team. Carmelo Anthony was on that team. He wasn't getting buckets. Like, I think that's just his thing. So I think that he might be finally trying to change what they're doing. There's a lot of pushing of the pace. There's a lot of consistent three-point shooting. Like, that stuff is different, and that has nothing to do with Zach LaVine. Like, Alex Caruso actually hitting over 50% of threes. It's not because Zach LaVine not on the court. He's just making them. Ain't like he wasn't shooting them. He just making them. Kobe White, same thing. Kobe White's making his threes. He's attacking the basket. Another thing that the Bulls go away from. Bulls try to shoot a lot of threes and don't attack the basket. When I think Zach LaVine's best attribute is actually attacking the basket. I'm starting to think that that's not just a Zach LaVine decision. He ain't coming in on the court and saying like, "Oh, me and DeMar are gonna shoot 20 shots apiece and everybody stand there and while we do our thing." No, that's a Billy Donovan thing. I think if you have the offense run the way it's running now with Zach LaVine, I think that just makes it better. Because who's gonna run down the court faster than Zach? Zach be ready to run. Nobody pushed the pace though. But now they're pushing the pace. So it's like I can't blame Zach. Plus, like I said, even if you get rid of him, you don't get nothing. He's just gonna go somewhere else, like a Sacramento, and play good, like we do with all the Bulls players that we give up on a little too early. It ain't like he ain't been serviceable the last we gonna had him for 5 years now. Yeah, it ain't like he ain't been serviceable. The system just ain't never been that good to me. Like the best year that we had when DeMar was hitting all them game winners and stuff like that.
I think a dog is serviceable.
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
listen, I think a dog is serviceable. So like
comparing Zach LaVine to a dog is ridiculous.
Come on. All right, this is right. Listen, we get into these rants sometimes, but we start talking about stuff that I feel is very irrelevant. I don't want to make it seem like it's a public thing, but definitely for me, get rid of him. Get rid of him. And I'm sorry. I said it last week. We was doing better because he was out. When I found out he was coming back, first thing I said was, damn, really? Why couldn't it be Lonzo? Why is he still out? If I want to hear news about somebody come out, Lonzo.
Real quick, we did have a notification over the holiday. Lonzo is now running pain-free. Back to your rant.
He back walking. Get rid of Zach. And no offense to Zach. And truthfully, I ranted it. Unc said when I started, he said he knew and when he said that, I said, let me have a different thought process. Let me not be so rude. Because I said last year, the Bulls in the play-in made a good run. And they ran into the Miami Heat, who was in the NBA Finals.
But this is the thing. The person who was playing the best at that time was Zach
No.
LaVine.
So that's what I'm saying. This is me giving him the benefit of the doubt. He was snapping. They were doing as good as they were, and they gave Miami Heat a run for their money because of Zach LaVine leading the Chicago Bulls. But then when I really look at that, I'm like, yeah, but you beat the Miami Heat. And personally, I don't think that the East is a very difficult conference to win it. The Milwaukee Bucks didn't have Antetokounmpo, so they were easy to sweep by. The Celtics beat themselves. They was easy to sweep by. Who else do you have? The Chicago Bulls. Because I feel like when they actually play a game, they could be good. But no offense to Zach LaVine, I say get rid of him. Zach LaVine, to me, is a little lesser version of a Devin Booker. And you see how hard it is for Phoenix Suns over there in Arizona to find a piece to fit with Devin Booker. He's a great talent, and you want to keep him because the dude is elite when he's on the court. But I don't even want to say it's so hard to play with him, but how many different groups of people have been together at that team, and they still ain't been able to put it together.
See, oh gosh, see,
they still ain't. But I'm just saying. And then more than anything, you talk about Billy Donovan. You have to have a coach to be able to understand that and to be able to work with having dominant players with a team around. That's what I say. To me, I feel like the thing is the struggle with the Bucks. Griffin, whoever he is up over there, he is not making it work. And I'm not saying that I don't know how to pronounce the name of the coach they had before, but I feel like he was a better keep. Bud, yeah, they call him Bud. I think he would have been a better keep than whoever this dude because I'm like, dude, you got Dame Lillard, Giannis, and come on.
But see, okay, I guess this is where I will backtrack.
Come on.
I think what's happening in Milwaukee is very similar to what is happening in Chicago right now. And right now, they fired Bud prior to the Dame deal, and I think honestly, if Dame, if he's there when Dame is there, then maybe it goes better. But Giannis, it's also the fact that Dame is also not shooting consistently either. So it's like,
but Dame did this at Portland. But Dame was the only one in Portland, so we remember many of those games. Dame had 60, but it was a lot of those games. Dame's had 15, and he was not having a good game. But that's the Dame effect. Dame could come out and be logo Dame.
Not to mention they losing a significant amount of defense while getting Dame because Drew Holiday he's somebody who's guarding your best player every night, not Giannis. You know, I think they got him because he can take the game away from Giannis in situations where Giannis can't take over. So that's why Dame is there. But in the Bulls situation, I think it's similar because of the fact that if you trade Zach, it's just going to show you significantly that Billy Donovan can't do this fucking job. I think Billy Donovan is a very well-renowned coach and a decently winning coach because of his time in college. Everybody know he coached Joakim Noah, and I don't think that's a coincidence that
that's up in Chicago.
Yeah. So people forget one of the reasons why Kevin Durant left OKC because he also coached Kevin Durant. One of his reasons was he didn't like they got rid of Scott Brooks, and he doesn't like how Billy Donovan does things. Billy Donovan is really good on pushing your star, but not with pushing the rest of your team.
Yeah.
He's really good at pushing your stars. Stars have had some of their best seasons under Billy Donovan.
Russ snapped.
The year. Paul George, Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan. They all had their best. Chris Paul. People thought Chris Paul's career was over, and then he played good in OKC. So I think people give him more credit than he actually deserves, but that also puts a bad light on Zach LaVine. And Zach LaVine, to be honest, the only reason why he's actually in trade rumors is because of the fact that he's been saying he's tired of Billy Donovan.
Yeah. But I say ship him up out of here. If you don't want to be here.
See, to me, I'll say players that the Bulls have gotten has hindered young players. And I think if you do get rid of Zach LaVine, it could give Kobe White an opportunity to actually become a star in the league. That's the only reason why I would be like, get rid of Zach LaVine. But if it's not in that factor, like I said, if it's me, I'm actually getting rid of DeMar first before Zach. DeMar is the main one who's not necessarily a consistent 3-point shooter. He holds the ball. He's taking the ball all the way to the free throw line.
But this is my thing with DeMar, and it makes me feel like DeMar might not be a good asset to keep, because how much different do you think DeMar is than Jimmy Butler at the Miami Heat? And look at what Miami Heat was able to produce. But no real superstar.
But that's because of Jimmy Butler's defense, not because of his offense. DeMar DeRozan's defense.
I mean, obviously, Jimmy has better defense than DeMar. But I'm just talking about.
But they can have games.
But Jimmy, obviously, we know Jimmy, and the NBA knows Jimmy for his defensive threat and his defensive presence. But on that that Miami Heat team, Jimmy was looked at as the scorer. But they just fill him around with a lot of people who could score around him.
I think what Jew was saying, because I'm trying to listen to both of y'all arguments without interjecting. I think what Jew was saying, offensively as a person, that's Jimmy, because Jimmy he's not a 3-point threat. He definitely takes people to the post or into the paint area. He drives the basket, draws fouls and things like that. So I get what you're saying, that the defense makes up.
Not only that, but there's plenty of games, if you're really paying attention, where Jimmy Butler's not even trying to score.
Yeah,
not even trying to score. That's very different when DeMar DeRozan situation, because DeMar DeRozan tries not to score, then he's nobody on the court.
But in the Chicago Bulls, the ball is going to DeRozan
score. So that's my argument of why
get Billy Donovan up out of here. Okay, him and Zach LaVine, we on the same page.
I mean, I would be okay with that, but also the fact that how long
you would twofer.
Yeah, I mean, I would
get all three of them out of here.
To be honest, I would take all three out. I would take DeMar out, take Zach out, and take Billy Donovan out. Because you already messed up. Because there's a couple draft picks that y'all should have had,
and
that y'all let go because of the trade with DeMar and Vooch. That's another person that actually, to be honest with you, all them niggas that y'all brought in.
Ship them.
That has hindered the growth of your young players. Let them go. I think Bulls have had plenty of young players that should have. Ayo Dosunmu is barely getting minutes, is up and down whenever, and he was our starting point guard for an entire year.
But that's the Chicago Bulls, because we kept Lou Aldain till the man was almost on a hospital bed. No, he was on a hospital bed. We kept Kirk Hinrich till he ain't had knees no more. Kirk Hinrich was getting tapped at half court. We gonna keep these dudes on these minimal contracts, so we really don't got to pay them that much.
You're not.
We may have one guy, two guys that we really paying some money, and the rest of the roster is little mice pickups.
All right. So it sounds like y'all both are okay with Zach being gone, even though Vic did give a compelling...
I would just say it's not my first choice.
Right. That's what I was saying. So Vic is okay with him staying, but if you're releasing all three of them, or not releasing, if you're going to get rid of Zach, you might as well get rid of the whole thing.
Blow it up.
And you just like, get rid of Zach. We'll deal with everything else later. Yeah. If you want to get rid of everybody else after that too, cool.
Estate sale at this point.
Right. And I'll just say my part real quick, and then we'll move on to the NFL news. I feel like it could go either way. Bring Zach back, and let's see what this next month looks like. And if it's not looking good, start the transition. Yeah. Start trade them, and let's get these assets, and let's start investing into Kobe, Ayo, Patrick Williams, et cetera, and get that started for this offseason or between trade deadline and this offseason. So I love the arguments, y'all. Zach LaVine, over this last year and a half or so, he don't seem like he's too connected to the team. Well, not to the team, to Billy Donovan, like y'all said, the system. And I feel like he deserves to grow somewhere else too. He's a great dude, does a lot for the community in Chicago. Great player, and the team his teammates love him. So if it happens, it happens. Let's blow it up if he's traded, in my opinion. So moving on to the NFL, we're gonna start with our Chicago Bears, and this Sunday, um, I've been thinking about this week, and it's starting to feel like the news is trying to drum up this campaign that it's now or never for Justin Fields. Win this game and put that stamp that you're the QB1 of the future, lose this game, and you out the door. And even before this game, if he would have lost versus Atlanta, they would have wanted him out of here anyway. So with that being said, I want to bring up, is this Justin Fields' last game? Do we feel if he loses, it's his last game? Do we feel like if he wins, it's already been written in stone that it's his last game? Since we do have the number one pick and Caleb Williams and all these other guys, there's plenty of quarterbacks to choose from, as opposed to, I think, 2022 and 2023. There wasn't as many. 2022 definitely wasn't. I think it was only Pickett really from the 2022 draft season, and then 2023 Bryce Young and Stroud. But then after that, it was a severe drop off. But now we got Caleb Williams, Drake May, Penix, Knicks, and I'm talking about, it doesn't have to be first round, second round, third round, et cetera, et cetera.
There's plenty of quarterbacks.
There's plenty of quarterbacks this year. So I think I started with Vic on the last one. So we'll start with Juju. Do you feel that the Packers game can affect positively or negatively Justin Fields remaining the Chicago Bears QB1?
Definitely. And a couple of days ago, I think I was talking to you on, because I was like, I can't continue to talk about this Justin Fields. If he gonna be here next year, if he here next year, he here next year. If he not here next year, he not. I'm pro him being here. I think it's a good asset to our team. I think he's progressed the whole 9 yards. But I will say, for the naysayers, I asked Justin, for the naysayers who feels like we should get rid of Justin Fields, if you can bring us a Bears W against the Green Bay Packers, I think at that point, no matter what, every Bears player is going to love you. And I'm not saying that they're going to be rooting for you to say like, oh, we should keep you. But I feel like whatever chatter there is in the media or, within people, within fans, I feel like at that point, at least now those people have something to be like, no, we want to stick next to this guy. I do think if the Bears, I do think the Bears organization has already made that decision, but previous to this game, I think at this point you have to. I think they've already made that decision, but I feel like him winning a game like this only solidifies that, and it only sure chances, because I know Justin has already said he wants to stay in Chicago. He loves Chicago. He's fell in love with the city, which is one of the most beautiful cities, I think, personally, to be in. So more than anything, what do we lose by giving him another year? What do we gain by taking another unpredictable quarterback? I think this game, Justin, just more than anything, go out there and prove why we should keep you. Show the naysayers, because you got your fans that want you. You got your people that want you. Go show them other haters who doubting you that it's meant to be.
I wish I had more in my cup, because I'm tired of talking about this.
Yeah, I'm tired of talking about this shit.
But next show we have bigger cups in the kitchen.
Yeah, I didn't ran out, so I needed a bigger cup. But personally, I would like him to play well, so then they can decide to keep him. But in reality, I have to really come to the conclusion that it won't matter either way. Because his first should be based on who they keeping as a coach. If they keeping Eberflus, are they getting a new coach? That coach system may not fit Justin Fields. It'll be dumb for that coach to keep Justin Fields if he don't fit his thing. So and I've determined that Justin Fields only fits in a certain type of offense. Either way, it seems obvious that if you go back to his college, I mean, he had a time in Georgia. It was not going well in Georgia. I think that's because of the way they were using him. Obviously goes to Ohio State and does what he does and becomes the quarterback he is. He's always been a talented quarterback, a really good quarterback, but there's been slightly system for him. And not saying that's set in stone, not saying that he can't develop and be, a great quarterback no matter what system you put him in. But when I'm a coach coming into an organization, I'm going to be looking for, hey, is he good? Is he good for what I'm doing? Is he good for what I'm trying to do? So I think that I would like him to play well, but I know in reality it has nothing to do with his playability. It has zero to do with his playability. Yeah. Do I think if Eberflus stays, is it his best option to keep Justin? Yeah, because he's already been under you. He know how you like it. You know how you like to do things. He just stick to that. If Eberflus doesn't stay, then I got a completely different opinion. Because I don't think the offense is going to change if we get a new offensive coordinator. I think honestly, it may be some tweaks, maybe some better play calling, but I don't think that's going to change in reality. So to me.
But then at that point, if you're bringing in another offensive coordinator who's just going to run the same plays, gets he called.
But I think the sequence of play calling,
different.
Because that's I think the major problem with the Bears. It's not that they have bad plays. Yeah. It's the sequence of plays
and the situational.
Like people were like, "Oh, they threw however many screens," and I can't remember. It was maybe 3 games ago.
I think about 23.
Yeah, 23 screens. But in my mind, I was like, I kind of see why he did that.
Yeah,
if you look at San Francisco, it ain't a whole lot of slants and outs and stuff. They doing screen plays, running back receiver runs, pop passes, RPOs. That stuff technically fits into a certain style. So I can see them trying a different style and trying to see what works for Justin. Quick passes can throw defenses off guard. You got to have the guys to do it. I mean, Deebo Samuel is not the average receiver. He a running back, so you can give it to him behind the line of scrimmage and you just run. I shouldn't call him a running back, but he is a running back though. But he's just a running back that can route. Christian McCaffrey. He's just a black Christian McCaffrey. But to me, it's more so about that. It's more so about what's going to be the situation next year. Come draft time, you might have a different coach. A different coach may be like, I'd rather start from scratch with a guy that doesn't have habits already. Because that's basically what it's going to be. Justin Fields has habits. Mm-hmm. We know he has habits. A coach may not want to deal with that. He may want to deal with a rookie quarterback because you haven't developed those habits yet. So now I'm going to develop new habits into you that fits what our thing. We want you to let go of the ball instead of taking a sack, trying to make an extra play. We want you to do, that stuff ties into it. So it's a conversation I think is very overlooked when it comes to these quarterbacks in this draft. Is that when you get drafted, man, it's a lotto. You could have all the talent in the world. I think there's been plenty of talented quarterbacks coming in the NFL that get a bad shake because of where they got drafted. I've only seen a few players in history that actually took an effect on trying to make sure they didn't get drafted in a place where they feel like they weren't going to have a good career. Eli Manning. People forget. Eli Manning and his daddy was like, yo, we not going to San Diego. They was very clear on that. It was like, you draft us, we staying.
Yeah.
They made that trade happen. Phillip Rivers ended up going to San Diego instead. That happens. It doesn't happen often, but I can understand why it happens because that shake of the dice determines the rest of your career. I mean, you think, a few people get lucky. Geno Smith, lucky guy. People don't get that. People don't get that where they got drafted first round, early pick, get to be a starting quarterback, it don't work out, and then you end up becoming a starting quarterback later on in your career. That don't happen. So to me, it's like I pray, and I ain't a Bears fan, but I pray that Justin Fields is able to stay. But we'll see.
Yeah, me personally, I'm JF1 until the world blow up. I don't care who comes in. I don't care what new coach, what new OC. I want him to stay because I don't feel like he's got the fair shake
Yeah.
that he should. And a lot of people be like, well, you could say the same thing for Zach Wilson. You could say the same thing for Trey Lance. And I would agree. I don't feel like they got the fair shake. One, Lance got hurt, and
Mm.
then they decided to move forward. So whatever they seen, we don't know behind the scenes. So I can't really uh, say that they didn't see something that would make them want to move on. But I do feel like he didn't get a fair shake because he didn't get the 2-3 years. Because everybody says give him 3 years and see what they are. He didn't get that. He hurt himself for a full year, and he all of a sudden they just brought two quarterbacks in. They brought the guy that's in now, Purdy, and then they brought Sam Darnold. And matter of fact, they almost was gonna start Sam Darnold this year, before they allowed Purdy to start. They was ramping up and talking about Sam Darnold looking so good and possibly being QB1. So back to the Bears. I just really feel like he hasn't got the fair shake. The first year was trash. They didn't know if they want to start him. Bill Lazor and Matt Nagy was going back and forth with play calling, and then you leave that situation. You get rid of Allen Robinson, who dogged it that year. You go into 2022, you rip the whole offense and roster period, clear all the talent, and so now you playing with, what was it, the 2007 or 2008 Detroit Lions that went winless. The O team, the zero team.
Yeah.
So your roster was Dollar General cashiers and Target cart pushers as O line, and then you expect him to ball out and not make mistakes. You expect him to have the best footwork, the best mechanics, like when his offensive line ain't working, when he's as was it Sam Darnold seeing ghosts?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and he didn't have that moment. He didn't have a seeing ghost moment. He kept getting hit in the face. Kept getting hit.
He was
in the
most
face.
sacked.
Most sacked.
Hey, I think he played half the year that year.
Yeah, and you can say yeah, a lot of the sacks he puts on himself, which I can agree with. But he's a playmaker. He's a guy that wants that shot. He's a Brett Favre-ish mind where I want that big play. I'm not Tom Brady. I'm not going to dink and dunk, even though Tom Brady can do the deep stuff too. But he's a cerebral guy. He's like, I'm going to pick you apart. Peyton Manning, I'm going to pick you apart and then get you deep. Justin Fields, it has started to learn that over the second half of the season. He has gotten the ball out quicker. He has taken less sacks, even though he has taken some. He's not as turnover prone, even though he has had some. But I've seen largely incremental progression, at least since he's returned. He's 4-2 since he's returned. The other two were losses where the defense gave up the leads. So if we win those games, you're looking at a 6-0 quarterback going into the Packers game. So to me, just to speak to the topic itself, I would hope it's not the last game. I do feel like it would put a mean stamp, because last week you heard in the snow people with snotty noses screaming, "We want Fields. We want Fields." So if the crowd majority is chanting that, it's the loud minority in social media and on media that really want him gone. So they see, they know, they understand the situation as he's had a shitty situation, and y'all want to get rid of him for the grass on the greener side person, which is fine, because I have no issue with Caleb Williams or any of the other quarterbacks if you decide to move on. But if you're going to move on to those guys, that means that you've already started building a team. You built a defense. You got DJ Moore. And now you're going into a draft where you can actually load up on offensive weapons, get a center of the future that we need, because that's where our most rush comes from, is from the interior, where Lucas Patrick and Whitehair just can't seem to lock that down. And so now the new guy gets what Justin Fields never got. And so now next year we're going into a situation where everybody's like, well, see, that's why he's better. That's why Caleb Williams. That's why Drake May is better because look now. But you just got him.
Going to
you
way
just got
better
him
situation.
a Doomsday, Joe Alt, or another offensive tackle. You got the best center because you got all this draft capital. But you didn't see what Justin Fields could do, and he's improved over the last 17 plus, as well as this last 6-game stretch where he's not looking like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or even Patrick Mahomes per se, but he's giving it all he's got. He's putting us into leads. Like we just dropped 37 on Atlanta's top 10 defense, and both of the Detroit Lions games, he was putting in work, and that's a playoff team. So to me, I feel like he's done enough to stay. I feel like the Packers game should be that stamp, and I want him to win. I want him to win. And if he wins and they move off of him, regardless, I'm buying the jersey wherever he's going, win or lose. But if he wins and they move off of him, you're going to see a whole mutiny of real fans. Real fans, and I'm not saying the other fans that want Caleb Williams aren't real fans, but the real fans that were at that stadium chanting represent a large minority, majority, excuse me, because they were at the stadium. Like you can talk all you want to on social media, but the people that are paying the money and in the seats are chanting that all around the stadium, not just the stadium.
I got a slight question, because I'm not obviously we've already expressed that I'm not necessarily a Bears fan. I wish you well, but I'm not a fan. But my question is, what difference do it make as a Bears fan?
What difference does it make having Caleb Williams or Justin Fields?
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you the difference, and that was the exact thing I was gonna say to that draft, that even if we get Caleb Williams and insert him into the Bears, obviously by taking Caleb Williams, we miss out on half of our leverage of getting assets in the draft, because our leverage is possibly trading that first pick
for multiple
other picks. Years. So hold on, let me finish. So you asked a question. So now if we take Caleb Williams, we take the first pick, and now we have a late first, not a late
10th-ish,
10th or early late first round pick, and then we have two
like
second round picks, 2 second round picks. So then we have 2 second round picks, which are very good picks. But then I think of this season how it played out, and I put Caleb Williams in them same situations, because the situation ain't gonna be much different with 1 first round pick and 2 second round picks, because them second round picks, you really just at that point you could get some great pieces, but our real pieces at that point that we need are very important pieces that you don't want to go into too late into the draft to get. So if I put Caleb Williams in that Atlanta Falcons game and they grab on Caleb Williams the way they grabbed on Justin Fields, we talk about, Unc said, you put Caleb Williams in this better situation, this better organization, and now he looks good because of what you've surrounded him with. But I think if you put Caleb Williams in the situation Justin Fields is in right now or next year, he would not do better. He would not do better. I would say, I think they both have similar. Caleb Williams gets his glorification off of off script plays. What the F is Justin Fields? If he's not the best off-script playmaker there is in the NFL outside of Lamar Jackson, you're going to tell me that this Caleb Williams, this college quarterback who's smaller, is going to be better at off-script plays, taking what should have been a sack and gaining he made that a 30-yard run?
But I guess that's my difference is because, he could turn that into a 30-yard run. That's not necessarily what Caleb Williams is good at. Caleb Williams is good at turning that negative 5-yard sack or whatever into that 30-yard pass.
Like he got sacked before that play.
Yeah. No, so
Justin Fields. It was a loss. I don't think he got sacked. I think it was a run play, and they didn't get.
So all I'm saying is, let's just say beginning of the year, my expectations or any Bears fans' expectations would be first. The defense is good now. And then we probably just going to add more pass rushes to that. So that defense is going to be expected to be good next year. You got your threats on offense already. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to just add more threats on that offense. So that's why I asked the question of how big of a difference it is as a Bears fan between Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. Because in reality, you got a rookie. I'm not saying that Caleb Williams is better. I'm not saying that any person is better than him in the draft. But is it bad? A lot of people's conversation makes it seem like it's bad. And what I'm saying is it's like good. It's what's the thing? It's like it's good versus good. It's like we got a top 3 or no, I'm sorry, not top 3, a number 1 draft pick. We got a number 1 draft pick or Justin Fields, and it's like unless they just go. Now I can understand why that could be a concern. Is that the Bears just make a bonehead ass pick and they pick like no offense, but Bo Nix instead of the other a couple other quarterbacks that's there. I don't think he the best, and that would be stupid. But I mean, granted, the Bears did do that with Mitch, so
well to me, and I get what you're saying, and I respect it because you're an outsider looking in. You like good versus good, and I don't feel there's a necessarily a difference. My biggest thing is you already have a player that's dynamic, that's growing, that that if this defense was playing the way it was playing now, or it has been playing over this last 6 games, if they were playing like that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, hold on, you asked for a question. You asked a question. If that defense was playing since the beginning of the year, we're probably not looking at this because there's 3 games that we've lost based on the defense losing double-digit leads. So that means that our record is better and we're pushing into the playoffs. Nobody's thinking about drafting a quarterback because we're a playoff team. Justin Fields has took us to the playoffs because everybody looks at win-loss record as the quarterback stat. So you take that back last year. If DJ Moore is on that team, if the defense is playing as stellar as it's been playing last year, that's his 2nd year. And if we make the playoffs, even scoot in or have the 9-8 situation that Detroit Lions had last year, you're not having a conversation going into this year because now he's a playoff, and you're continuously building.
So did that say that y'all believe that
the next progression
the talent alone, if you eliminate the win-loss from Justin Fields, is hilarious.
So
before you finish up,
go ahead.
Let's pause. I gotta go.
Okay,
we gotta pause.
So we
gotta pause. We gonna have to cut this. I'm gonna go quick.
All right, we're gonna pause right now. We'll be right back with y'all. So we'll just talk about briefly NFL Pro Bowl and name a player real quick if you feel that but first, congratulations to Jalen Johnson and Montez Sweat of the Bears that made the Pro Bowl. I'll say mine real quick so we can be brief. I feel like DJ Moore was snubbed. That's a no doubt, no brainer. Obviously people say, well, look at what Amon St. Brown did for his team. But I feel like there's less talent. Obviously their wide receiver room isn't that great outside of Amon St. Brown, but they do have a high first round pick in Jamison Williams that just hasn't panned out. So it's not that they don't have talent. Dude just ain't panned out. Justin Fields is still throwing to DJ Moore, Tyler Scott, Velus Jones, Equanimeous St. Brown, et cetera, et cetera. So that's been trash central since last year. So to me, DJ Moore was a snub. What do you guys feel?
Yeah, I agree. DJ Moore. I think he one of them young guys who he definitely on the rise. I think he a popular player and maybe could be biased to me because I'm in Chicago where he played. But I feel like even last year when he was at Carolina, he was one of them up and rising popular players. And I feel like his burst of stats, the increase of stats for him this year, receiving wise, has been crazy, has been dominant. So I think I agree. That would probably be my only one.
You don't have to be Bears.
No, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I looked at everybody who made the Pro Bowl, especially in the receiver category. I can understand, like, okay, Puka Nacua had a great season, but technically it is a good season for a really good, I'm not even gonna say good season, a really good season for a rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
But it is not necessarily a great season for the rest of the league. There's a couple other guys, but I also have to think to myself that Puka Nacua, at least to my knowledge, has not missed a game this year.
No.
Amon St. Brown missed a couple games, so maybe if he played those games, maybe they would have decided differently. Maybe he did get the leverage because of the Iron Man, situation. You play every game of the season, it seems like you viable for that team, and not to mention the fact that that's the only person that was getting the ball in LA. So he was doing pretty dang good. They are a playoff
for a fifth round.
Yeah, they are playoff, and that's another thing too.
Crazy.
It's like nobody was expecting this, and to me, it's not all pro. It's Pro Bowl. I'm looking for names. I gotta sell an event.
Yeah,
I gotta sell an event. Puka Nacua has been getting his name called all year because he's been snapping off, so I can understand why he get picked. Mike Evans has been getting the ball quite a lot this year. Got a decent amount of touchdowns. I can see why he got picked. So that's the reason why I say I don't necessarily pick anybody. I know people are talking about Josh Allen, which I think is ridiculous. It's like,
I like Josh Allen.
I like him. You are right. He is a good quarterback in general. He's not had the best year. That's the reason why they're fighting on the sideline over there.
You think Jalen Hurts had the best year?
No. But I'll say he's better. He's had a better year than a decent amount of quarterbacks, though.
You think he had a better year than Josh Allen?
Well, that's NFC. So
I'm just saying.
So if I'm just saying in general quarterbacks, I think Josh Allen could have started on the NFC team. He could have started on the NFC team, but he's not on the NFC. You're on the AFC, so you got to compete with Lamar Jackson. Do I think he's playing better than Lamar Jackson? No.
I wouldn't.
Do I think he's playing better than Tua? No.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that it's a popularity thing.
But I want to say the third quarterback is Patrick, right?
Yeah.
Now I want to say the third quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Now I will say, technically, I think it's a jump ball between the two of how they're having the season so far. But then I go back to the thing I just said: it is the Pro Bowl, not all pro. So you need the names. You want Patrick Mahomes to be there. And granted, that's another thing too. We don't know who's going to actually be able to go because obviously the teams that go to the Super Bowl aren't going to be there. So you could still get an opportunity. Amon St. Brown, you could still get in there. Josh Allen.
They need like a reserve list.
No, it would be nice.
They got alternates.
They do have alternate.
But I mean, they normally really announce the stuff and advertise it after they've decided who's going to the Super Bowl. So then they'll say, hey, so-and-so is going to be there.
Maybe then he'll.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm sure the NFL is probably bummed that Justin Jefferson's not on there. Justin Jefferson is arguably the most popular player in the league. Yeah. And it's like, man, we know he would bring numbers. We would love to see him over here just grittying, but they can't because he the injury and he's been out. Ain't because he's not talented. And I think that's the thing. I think Amon St. Brown had a better argument last year
than this year.
Than this year,
which I will agree.
And
because he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
Like
and matter of fact, and they were winning games, and you can make an argument that it was decently off the back of him. Yeah. Jared Goff wasn't throwing to nobody else really
because Laporte wasn't even there.
No, he wasn't there, and they had traded what's his name in the middle of the season, at the beginning of the season, Hawkinson.
Yeah.
So to me, he had a better argument last year, but to me, so far this year, I think they did. This is probably the few few times the NFL.
If
I
I'm
feel
in
like
the Pro Bowl, anyways, I just want to be in the events before the actual game. That's all I watch.
The tug of
personally.
war and the races.
Like, just let me be a part of the, whatever event y'all got before. I don't even care if I'm talking. That's the real fun and all that.
Josh Allen would have made it if it was an all-white team.
Oh yeah. I think that's how they should do the Pro Bowl. They should really turn the Pro Bowl if they did an all-white versus all-black.
If they did an all-white team, then he would have made it.
That'd be
sure, first ballot.
And that lets us know that we have ran this show
way too much.
Because now we going into the Rashad Mendenhall. But anything else you guys got, fellas, before we break out of here?
No, sir. We made it through the first week of the new year.
Until next time.
For sure. All right. So, again, thank you all for tuning in. And as we always say here at 3 Point Stands Podcast, stand for what you believe in. Peace.